So today I sat down with Annie Buckley of Fourth Wall Building Consultancy. They're a small building surveying practice. But what made this one really interesting is, firstly, Annie is not from a building surveying background. She actually came initially from a PR background. So they set up the business, her and actually both life and business partner, Josh, they set up the business up together. Obviously with the knowledge that Annie was not a building surveyor, so she wasn't there to do any of the actual delivery. She was there to support them with marketing, business development, strategy, building out systems and processes. And honestly, when you listen to this, you're going to get so much from the fact of the value that Annie adds to that business. Lastly, Annie, I think, is certainly early 30s. So she's had to deal with the prejudice of being a female in the built environment who is not a professional surveyor and having to get over that. This is going to be a real shot in the arm for any kind of female surveyors or anybody else listening who wants to set up their own business. Annie is a force of nature. I loved her energy. You'll get so much from this episode. Right, today I'm delighted to be joined by Annie Buckley of Fourth Wall Building Consultancy. Thanks for coming, Annie.
Thank you very much for having me.
No problem at all. Now, this is quite an amusing one. Obviously, you've agreed to step in last minute for Josh, who's one of your fellow directors, founders of the business.
Yeah,
so
we are.
Thank you for doing so. But I'm actually really, it would have been great to see Josh, but I'm actually really pleased that it's you, because I think you're going to have quite an interesting story, as people will learn when they watch this episode about that you're not from a technical profession. So I'm intrigued to understand everything about how you ended up doing it in the first place. So to begin with, can you just give us a very brief overview of Fourth Wall in terms of what you're doing, current headcount, maybe I guess kind of sectors or clients that you focus within?
Yeah, of course. So we're chartered building surveyors, so we focus on that discipline, very much so. So that covers dilapidations, pre-acquisition, planned maintenance reporting, etc., for all sorts of clients.
Right.
We cover commercial, residential, and heritage. So we kind of vast sector, vast type client type. So we work with asset and property managers in the commercial space, looking after their assets.
Right.
We've done stuff in spinning fields, for example, around here. So, looking at condition of those buildings and advising on their next steps. We also work with investors and portfolio landlords on their kind of pre-acquisition, their wider portfolio.
Okay.
So we do all sorts, really. Lots of landlord and tenant and lots of acquisition things. And we work, pretty much across the country. We're a small team, small but mighty. We're a small team, but we have a kind of wide coverage because of where everyone is based and where our clients are investing as well. So we work a lot in the Northwest. We also work in London and the Southeast, and we do some in the Midlands as well as Yorkshire. So is the team quite, when you say, as in, does it sound like a team are dotted about? Yeah, right, okay. Yeah. So our core team, there's 4 directors, and one is based in the South, one in the Midlands, 2 up north.
Oh, interesting. Okay, cool.
So we're all over the place, really. I would say, but it keeps it interesting. It's nice.
So so is the business kind of home based then? Does everyone work from home, or is there an actual office? Or
we use like a co-working space,
cool.
So that we can still spend time together, but we haven't kind of like invested in a full set office.
Right.
We're all friends. We've known each other for a long time.
Right. Cool.
So we have kind of come together with it.
Yeah.
Josh and I founded it. Yeah. But we've brought in kind of Pete and Liam since then, and they're kind of old friends of ours. Right. And they're just based in different places, but it's very like people-led. Like we want to work together and work with them. So it doesn't really matter on location. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, and you can arguably service more of the country if that's the case as well. Yeah,
if people
absolutely.
In certain locations. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to... So normally my question is, how did you get into building surveying? And obviously you didn't. Well, you did technically eventually. But so do you want to tell us your story, and then in terms of, I guess, your career?
Yeah,
but also then how you ended up being a co-founder of a building consultancy.
So Josh is my partner as well as my business partner.
Amazing. Okay.
So we've been together since we were like 17.
Oh, wow. Okay, amazing.
So quite a long time.
Yeah.
He's a chartered building surveyor.
Mm-hmm.
He was God, he's buildings through and through. He was brought up on building sites.
Right.
Dad is a builder.
Right.
Family are all tradesmen.
Yeah.
Learned to ride a bike on a building site. So
That's a dangerous place to learn to ride a bike.
Oh, God, yeah. You should see his first toys. His dad cut down like an actual saw, so he could have a mini one to work next to him. And he was about 3, so that was fun. Yeah, risky.
Yeah.
So he was that. I wasn't, but we've been together a long time. So we kind of came together with this. Yeah. My background is in the corporate affairs space.
Yeah.
So I have a degree in sociology. So unrelated.
Yeah.
But that is all about the study of society and people. So when I went from uni, I started in like comms and PR.
Yeah.
As a kind of, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
I did a degree because it was fun.
As many degrees are.
God,
it's much more about the fun than a degree. Or the degree.
Well, yeah, you like go down a path at 18 and you don't really know or think that far ahead.
So I did a degree in geography. I like the subject, but I had no idea what I was going to do with it after getting the degree.
Oh yeah, I was like, well, I got an A in that at A level, so let's go with that. And it's interesting. I love people.
Yeah.
So that's always like a key thing for me. I then went into corporate affairs. So I was at Manchester Airports Group.
Right. Yeah.
In press and public affairs.
Right. Okay.
And then I went.
But that was interesting at the time. How long were you? So what years were you there for?
4.5 years.
So what years? What years though were they roughly? When did you?
Oh, good Lord! How old am I? 2016? 20. Why can't I do the maths of how old?
So was it
from uni?
Oh, okay, fine.
So I was there straight from uni. I had to have like a day off for my like graduation type thing. I'd got like a 3-month internship,
right?
And it just carried on.
Go from there,
and I was there a long time, and it was such an interesting place to work. I loved it.
Did that cover really COVID at all, or not?
Yeah, so I was there
that was
like
interesting.
As COVID started. So I think I had to go and like meet the first plane of like COVID passengers landing.
Right. Wow.
Because there was obviously media interest in that. I think there'd been loads of people like trapped in Tenerife.
Oh, wow.
And they were all flying in.
Right.
So I went to meet them, but then I kind of left not long after that. Okay. So I wasn't there throughout COVID period. But yeah, I was there for a few years. It was fast-paced for a big place. It was a small team, so you got involved in so much. There were airline launches, airline collapses, and for me, I was obviously young, but I would often be in a situation where you're dealing with very senior people, politicians, senior people at the airport, and you've got to be very like dynamic with working. And then I'd work with business people and things as well. So I kind of learned a lot there. And
so just for people who, sorry, just to talk you a second, Annie, for people who really, I reckon some people don't understand what PR is in some cases.
Yeah.
So can you give a kind of a quick lesson about what, because I honestly don't think a lot of people understand it. Maybe don't necessarily understand the value of it sometimes. I think.
Oh, yeah. No, I do actually. I remember this actually because I remember Josh once saying to me, oh, yeah, there's a PR person at like the company he was at. Just share some articles that the company's been in each week. And I was like, well, she's got them in that coverage. She's got that.
Yeah.
So PR is public relations. It's press dealing with media. It's also essentially pitching your company for positive news in the media. So you've got to have really good relationships with media there. Yeah. When you're working somewhere like an airport, there's a lot of reactive stuff as well.
Yeah, but
it's a 24-hour place. There's all sorts going on. And it's managing the company's position in the public eye, essentially, and what's going into the news and what's not.
Right, yeah.
So, you're dealing with all of that. And that could be their community initiatives, and you're pitching for that to be covered because it's really positive news. Yeah. New airline launches. You work hard with marketing. There's other teams, so it's like really collaborative. But it's very much about like positioning in the media. A lot of writing, a lot of communications with different people. So when you're seeing a company have an article published and it's everywhere that they've just kind of disposed of this big asset, there's been a new acquisition, they've got a team, whether in-house or kind of consulting, who is really getting them into the media and making sure publications are getting that out there for them. Yeah. So there's a lot. PR people do a lot in the background.
And and I appreciate it probably varies week to week, but what percentage of what you do, would you say, is planned, i.e. you're pursuing to get an article in, as opposed to having to do with reactive stuff where something's happened and you're having to produce to deal with whatever the press release needs to be with an emergent, something going on.
Yeah. I'd say the majority of your time you're always strategizing and looking ahead and getting that pitch and prepping.
Right, yeah.
And then it depends where you're working to do with the reactive stuff.
Yeah, okay.
Some of it is very like operational and like obviously high footfall.
Yeah.
There's loads more reactive stuff. There'll be, it could just be an emergency landing and someone has found out, so the MEN's calling and that sort of thing.
Yeah, okay, with you.
It can be bigger stuff, but there's always reactive things. But really, you're planning and strategizing a lot in advance and like prepping stuff.
Okay.
You don't want to be kind of like on the back foot, so you've got to look ahead a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I
detracted from. So you finished at Manchester Airport Group.
Yeah. So I had moved from being in the press there to public affairs, which is then business and political relations.
Right. Okay.
So that is dealing with businesses and organisations across predominantly the region.
Yeah.
And also politicians.
Right.
That can be nationally as well.
Yeah.
And then wanting to visit the airport, so transport secretaries, PMs, etc. Politicians who are in the local vicinity, so the local MPs, and how it's impacting their kind of constituents.
Right, okay, yeah.
And also businesses, so travelling through, lots of business travel, wanting to do a lot with the trade and export teams and things like that. So I moved to do more of that side.
Right.
I was never like a fun PR. I was never going to be doing like a cool pop-up. I was always more of interested in the business side and the community side and that stuff really. Okay. So I did that, which is obviously very different to building consultancy.
So where did you move after MAG? Where did you go after?
I went to the Sheffield City region, which is now the Mayoral Combined Authority.
Okay.
So I did business comms there.
Right. Okay. So did you?
On that side.
So you live in Sheffield at that point, or did you?
So I'm from Sheffield.
Right. Okay.
I don't have a Sheffield accent. I never have.
No.
Up north, they think I'm Southern. Down south, they think I'm Billy Elliot. It's bizarre. So I'm from Sheffield. We were in Manchester. I was in Manchester for I think about 7.5 years. I studied here. I worked here.
Right.
And then in COVID, I kind of wanted to be nearer family. It felt a bit more cut off. And I remember being so devastated when there was that Christmas where you weren't supposed to like travel.
Yeah.
I'd never had that. I'd been so set on like my routines with my family that
I don't think we'll ever all experience anything like
my
going
God.
where it's just like
it was absolutely crazy time. Yeah. So we decided to move kind of back home and be in Sheffield, but that was actually quite a weird one because I hadn't been in Sheffield since I was like 18. So I hadn't been in the business or property communities there. I was a teenager. So that was actually a weird one in terms of having to get out there and put yourself out there and meet new people because what really we had known is Manchester. Josh was at JLL in Manchester.
Right.
That's where he had worked. That's what I knew as well in terms of professional. So we still, and always have done, a lot of work in the Northwest. And then it was actually, we need to get a bit into Sheffield here as well. So it's a weird one where you're like from somewhere, but also not quite feeling like you're in there that way.
Yeah.
But so moved back to Sheffield, but I'm in Manchester every week.
Right, okay.
I love Manchester.
Yeah. It's got a buzz to it for sure.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how long were you there for then with the Combined Authority?
I was there. I only stayed 9 months.
Right.
I didn't love it.
Right.
I didn't love public sector. I much preferred the private sector. But it was an interesting change. But when I started there, a few months later, we launched this business.
Right.
So Josh had to go all in.
Yeah.
He was on like a year-long non-solicit, non-compete.
Right.
I was still working, but it was COVID time.
Yeah.
So there was nothing else to do in my evenings and weekends. I'd be working on Fourth Wall and I'd do all of the kind of like admin ops stuff, setting things up. I'd be doing social media. Like I was kind of utilizing the stuff I knew and my skills. And that's why we came together on it really. So we've always been 50-50.
Right.
Josh and me are very different characters, we come across so differently.
Right.
And we have different skill sets. And that we kind of realised was quite valuable to be able to do it, because he's so passionate about buildings, loves the client one-to-one, but didn't necessarily want to do the kind of operational side.
Right,
not as used to walking into a room of strangers to go networking. She's got to find some new contacts and clients. So we came together with our skills there. So we've always been 50-50, but I then left my job after, I think it was about 9 months of doing it, because we were like, well, it's going pretty well, and I feel like I need that change. I was never super passionate about like PR. That wasn't where I wanted my career to be. I just hadn't been sure at a young age.
Yeah.
So we launched this, but we launched it when I was 26.
Wow.
So I was 26 when we started. I think it's pretty rapidly aged me. But I'm now 31.
Welcome to being a business owner.
I keep saying that. I keep being like, oh, maybe I need to try the Botox occasionally. It's showing now. But no, yeah, so I was 26 when we started this.
Amazing.
So
Gosh,
I had
that's
kind of
young then.
Yeah.
Is Josh about the same age, or is he older than you, or younger than you?
He was 27.
Right.
Just 27.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Good.
yeah, we're a similar age.
Good. I started my first when I was 24, so I know
really?
it's like, and it's like, it's brave at that age, isn't it, to do it, and particularly doing it around COVID as well, when it's like, it wasn't a lot of work out, let's face it, at the time.
I feel like the youthful naivety, it was a huge benefit.
100% is. I think naivety in business is actually a good thing when you first start out, because you don't know what you don't know, so you don't
100%.
You don't not do things because you're worried about them, because you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know that it's an issue, so you just crack on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That you kind of work things out. We didn't have huge responsibilities. Like, I'm always amazed when people have like children, young children, and start businesses, and I'm like, God Lord, how do you have the energy or the time? Like, it's insane. We didn't have children. We were looking after ourselves. So
brilliant,
we didn't have that same other people relying on us, that you're young and you go, someone will employ me if it doesn't work out. So you kind of jump in, and I think that was actually quite beneficial for us to be quite young and give it a whirl.
So when did the business actually start? So what, 21?
November 2020.
2020, wow,
yeah.
Okay. So literally still right in the middle of it. We were still, we were just about to head back into lockdown, were we, at that point, I think? Is that right?
There'd been some like local lockdowns, but this industry hadn't really been massively affected anymore. It was only the first lockdown, so we were able to
get on with stuff.
Yeah.
So at that point, were you still living in Sheffield?
No, we were in Manchester.
You moved back to Manchester at that point, yeah.
We were in Manchester and then moved to Sheffield a few months later. So when we launched it was at a dining table in Burnage.
Right. Okay.
Nice.
Right. Love it. So then but do you live now in Manchester again, or
no? I want to come back over this way. I'm still in Sheffield.
Right, okay.
We're planning to move over this way again this summer.
Right.
So yeah,
Amazing.
I miss it.
Good.
But yeah.
So just two of you. You were focused mainly on, I guess, kind of like you say, ops, business development, marketing, all that side of it. And Josh was getting on with just delivering, generating the fees from doing the building surveying work.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so how long was it just the two of you before you then went and hired or brought other individuals into the business?
A couple of years. We started using some like external consultants a little bit.
Right.
We still have people like that who support with our like admin and everything.
Right.
I think there was like a couple of years.
Okay.
I think then we jumped into trying to bring more people in, and it's difficult to know, especially at that age, what to do and how to do that.
Of course,
I find that so hard, in going into it, it's always been like finding my feet with things as well, because it was a new industry for me, and we had 0 clients because of a very intense like non-solicit, non-compete for Josh. So it was very much learning a new industry, learning a new environment, learning how we benefit people, what we do even. So I was constantly just like listening to Josh on the phone. And we worked like that for a bit to kind of find our feet together, I think, as well, because obviously a lot of people probably wouldn't work with their partner.
Yeah.
I quite like it, but a lot of people wouldn't. And you've got to like find that balance and boundaries and things. So so we worked just us at home for a couple of years.
Good. I almost forgot the most important question. So Fourth Wall. I'm intrigued. So you're saying that was just before we came on air. You were saying that was one of your proudest bits of it. Is like coming up with the name. So what?
I felt so creative.
Talk me through the name.
We were trying to think of something. I remember this was like such a big thing. Like the branding for us had been really important. It was something we put some like money into at the beginning.
Right.
We didn't want a firm that was just like named after us or something like that. We really wanted it to be more creative and show off us a bit more.
Yeah.
So Fourth Wall kind of links to my drama kid times.
Right.
So in the theatre, there's breaking the fourth wall.
Right.
And that is when an actor speaks directly to the audience.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
It's just handy that buildings have walls, right?
Yeah.
So it's related to that with the theatre, that an actor speaks directly to the audience. Yeah. And we wanted that to represent us. Our perspective was to be honest and pragmatic, and we're speaking directly to a client for their benefit. So it linked to that. And then we thought, well, a lot of people think it's just because buildings have four walls. And I was like, give me a bit more credit. But so it's linked to that and the way we always wanted to build a business, to how we relate to people and how kind of we are. So it's very linked to that.
Amazing. Cool.
Yeah.
Good. So obviously started out quite slowly, but you started to get some clients obviously, and started to build on that.
Yeah.
And then so you said about 2 years in before you then somebody else came on board.
Yeah.
Another fellow director.
Yeah. So we had started. We did a lot more like residential work.
Okay.
And when we started, because essentially it's like faster, it's quicker.
Yeah.
So we did a lot of residential stuff and a lot of private residential, and then we went down the route of hiring into that space. And that didn't quite work out with our longer term vision.
Right.
And then we brought in the other directors. And those who have moved on to kind of residential focused firms, and I'm sure they're doing great.
Yeah.
But we kind of changed our tack.
Yeah.
I think we got more into that and then thought, this isn't actually what we want to be doing. And then we brought in the other guys as directors who are very much commercial surveyors to kind of go back into that avenue as well. So we hired, and then Liam and Pete joined 2 and a bit years ago. Clearly I'm not good with maths, am I here? I'm like, I always think I'm good with arithmetic. No, 2.5 years ago, I think.
Okay.
They joined
to
bring and bolster that kind of director commercial experience. And quite honestly, I think to broaden mine and Josh's way of doing things and looking at things, because you kind of can be in a bit of an echo chamber when it's the two of you, especially when you're at home together as well. So they brought a different kind of perspective and went down that route. So now we very much went into stabilization and foundations and clear vision all together before wanting to grow. So our next thing now is to start looking at the growth again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you say Liam and Pete were ex-colleagues of Josh?
They went to uni together.
Okay, cool.
So they all studied building surveying together.
Right, okay.
So they didn't work at the same firm.
Right, okay.
But they've all been mates for a long time. They then also wanted to kind of try something different, they'd all been in like large corporate firms.
Okay.
Wanted something different there as well. And it's that opportunity to build something again when you kind of can. You're quite young and you have that
100%,
opportunity. Might as well have a go.
So you're all roughly same age. You're all roughly kind of early 30s.
Yeah.
Like you say, lots of ambition. I don't know if others have got kids or not yet, but you've all got a lot of energy to say, right, let's get on with building something.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, I really love like coming together and having those other people. I like to be surrounded by different ideas. I like people who are going to challenge me and have different perspectives and different skill sets. And I always learn so much from them as well. And what they're working on, what they're doing, what they want to pursue, and bringing that all together, I find fascinating. I love it.
Brilliant. Okay, so what there are let me get this right. So there are
Four of us,
4 of you altogether. So the 3 building surveyors are all getting on with delivering work.
Yeah.
So are you primarily there to kind of go out there and find new work? Is that a big part of your role, Annie, as part of the...
Yeah. So I kind of see my role in... There's 3 like big key directions for my role, I would say.
Yeah.
And one is winning work.
Yeah.
One, I would say, is marketing the business.
Yeah.
And 3 is like improving our systems and efficiencies.
Yeah, amazing.
So I'm big into different systems, different technologies, different processes.
Some will come on to that in a bit later. Excellent, good.
Where things can be improved.
Yeah.
So I see that as like my main 3 things that I need to be working towards is, getting out there from a winning work, but also from a just promoting the business. There's a lot of consultancies out there, and we want to be present and meeting new people and getting out there. So that's a big part of mine. So they focus on billing,
good,
primarily.
And you know what? That's really cool. Is that because I think. So that's not typical, is it? Typical thing is you'd have one founder who's whatever their discipline is, building, surveying, QS, whatever it may be. They get out there, and often they get trapped in the same cycle of they'll win some work, they have to deliver the work. Because they're delivering the work, they're not then focusing anymore on the other bits of the business, including going out and winning more work. They finish that bit of work, say, "Oh shit, I've got to go find some more work again," and that's almost like what the first few years look like until they maybe get some additional headcount. So the great thing having you on board straight away is like you can almost say, well, I can't help you with building surveying because I'm not a building surveyor, but I can do all the rest. And that's really good because that's your focus on those bits, which are all crucially important for growing a consultancy business or growing any business but for growing a consultancy business, that's massively important.
Yeah.
And so arguably, whilst I love all what you're saying there. I love the way you've started. That you guys are both learning as you're going along. You're all young, and I'm all for it at the end of the day. I started when I was 24. I didn't have a fucking clue about running a business at the end of the day. Made a lot of mistakes along the way, which you do.
Yeah.
But I always say, like, some of the most undervalued bits of the job or bits of building a business certainly is marketing. And I probably didn't realise the value of marketing.
Yeah.
A lot later in my business journey, I would say, but it's massively important at the end of the day. You can be. Your 3 fellow directors could be the best building surveyors in the world. It's no good if nobody knows they exist.
Of course.
No matter how good they are. You're not going to get work from... Someone's not going to just drop work on your lap.
So much, which is great, is that people build relationships with their clients and things within surveying, and that's fantastic. Yeah. I think I have definitely faced the kind of... I don't know if it's criticism or...
Prejudices, I imagine. You've faced some prejudices, I would guess.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
you probably rock up to some of these events and I'm part of Fourth Wall and like, oh, here we go. Who's this girl? Don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah. I think hopefully we're moving on from that in the industry, but that's the perception, isn't it? I think, unfortunately, from some dinosaurs.
There is, absolutely. And I think also the kind of, I have had stuff towards me kind of like as a woman.
Yeah.
As a young woman,
100%. 100%. You'll have prejudice thrown at you all day for that, without doubt, sadly.
Of course. But also from the kind of perspective of me not being a surveyor. That what's your place in this? And that was quite weird when I first had it because I thought, well, every business has other people.
But you have to get grow thick skin pretty quickly on that, I imagine.
I think that's, oh my God, one of my main things that I've had to learn is to not take things personally and to grow a thicker skin, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%,
because that's tough, that you kind of, you're at so this was at a networking event. And I went and there was lots of other surveyors and things there. And I'll chat to anyone. I don't mind being at a networking event, but it can still be a daunting situation, even if you're confident walking into a room full of people you don't know.
100%.
And I found people who didn't really want to give me massively the time of day, and then maybe someone did decide they liked me, so other people would speak to me then.
Right.
Like, good Lord. Because I wasn't already in that world. They hadn't heard of me before or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then people who, I did have someone who kind of said, like, well, like, what do you do? like, you're not a surveyor. And I was like, well, yeah, but everyone needs stuff that isn't like their like trade to have a business. There's more to business. There's so much. And people who do it all themselves, I don't know how they have the time in the day when it's like you're marketing your business, wanting to grow it. I don't know how people do it as a solo founder. I'm like, God, it's amazing because there's so much as well as then delivering good client work. Everything else around it you've 100%. Got to do. So,
and it makes that a lot of, because the problem is if for any time that let's say Josh wasn't, if he didn't have you, all the time he wasn't billing, well, he'd be doing all the jobs that, all the stuff that you're doing, which means he wouldn't be billing, which means you don't generate the income. So, you know, like my first employee was Hayley, you've just met, who showed you in, and she looks after everything that's not recruitment. So, you know, and that was and that was brilliant from day one because she allowed me to just get on with.
Yeah, you want to focus on what you're best at. I think that is the important thing, and that I'll say to the guys a lot with things. Like, you've only got so much time. You don't want to burn out, and you want to enjoy life as well as work. However that is for people. You also want to have a life. And you can't do everything. So dial into what you're good at and what your strengths are. And I say that kind of like to the guys as well all the time. If it's like I should be going to this networking event. I was like, but you've also got like a massive client project on, and like that is a really good client you're working with. We want to deliver the good work. So focus on that. I'll go to it if it's something. And I had the same conversation with someone at an event last night where he is running his own business, is an architect, and he's like, I need to get out more and network. But when he's talking to me, I was like, but you're speaking to clients and other consultants every day, and they'll be the best referrers of work. So you don't have to stretch yourself if something isn't your skill set. I think recognizing that is really important to have a business, to grow a business, but to also just manage a business that isn't gonna like burn you out, weigh you down. If you can recognize and be comfortable that you're not good at everything, then that's a much bigger strength and a much better way to go. And I think Josh has always been like that. He's always been my biggest champion with stuff as well, and with winning work and putting myself out there. And has always seen that value that he goes, I'm not that good at that. So why would I spend all my time on that when I could be doing this thing that I really love and I'm very good at?
100%. Play to your strengths. Don't try and fix your weaknesses.
That's fine. I'm not going to try and survey a building anytime soon.
Absolutely.
But I can absolutely speak to people about how we'd benefit them and what we'll do for them and how we'll work with them. But then that's what I'm good at. And then I'll hand someone over to actually survey your building.
100%.
Do it with me having a go.
and you know, and if they want a more technical, detailed pitch, well, that's fine. One of the guys can come along with you to if that's what they need to understand a bit more about it.
And we'll do pictures and meetings together with stuff like that as well.
Good.
Because you're balancing different personalities. Even if we go to say we went to like an event or a client like dinner or something, and it's me and one of them, it balances things out. We 100%. Have a good rapport and we have different things 100%. We can then comment on and talk about. That works for us.
Good. That's really good. Right, so you touched on one of those three cogs that you look after is kind of process systems, tech.
Yeah.
Go on then. What are you doing? What are you doing differently? Have you found what you're using in terms of, I guess, the platform to manage the business? What are you looking at AI? Anything like that? Where are you in the all scope of all that?
I guess in a way, because we are younger, I've like grown up with technology in a different sense. So, we built our own custom kind of CRM system for dealing with clients. So we have all that online. I have a separate one for when it's kind of business development stuff.
Right.
That has completely bespoke for our proposals, our engagement agreements.
What your products are you using for that?
We use Dipsado.
All right, yeah. I
don't know if you've heard of that one, it's an American one. It's focused at creative industries, but it was so customizable that we kind of built our own thing in there and have workflows and automations so that we're capturing everything. So we've always been big on that. We obviously use like Microsoft tools, but then I also really like, we have a client portal that we built as well so that clients have access to everything. So when we're doing big portfolios, we've got repeat clients. They can access all of their forms, all of their invoicing, all the emails we've sent them in one place, and they can do that by like property, by site. So if they've done multiple, we had like someone was doing like a 36 property portfolio at a time. So we had all of that in their portal, and it was tracking where everything's at. They can see everything, and they can re-download those reports if they want to, and that sort of stuff. So we love doing stuff like that. I am absolutely like obsessed with AI at the moment. I find it so fascinating. Obviously I sit there and caricature myself when I'm
Why
feel
not?
like it, might as well. But turn my dog into a human type thing I did once.
I love it.
I also have utilized it to really build kind of custom GPTs within it myself. So I was having this conversation with someone about AI, and obviously ChatGPT, everyone's popping on there. Everyone on LinkedIn is clearly using it. And I use it every day. I will use AI every day. But you have to make it work for you.
Yes.
And you can't just pop something in and go, write me something engaging, shorten this. When you're on it every day and you're using it and you're training it to do what you need it to do, so it understands your voice.
Starts to get to understand you,
understands your voice, your perspectives. I will utilize it for automations and how to make something slicker, to be like, this process isn't working. If we're researching this and what I'm like, everything I've told you about me so far, what is the best way to approach this now? So it's not using it to just like write content, it's using it to like strategize and plan things out. A big part of that is putting time into it to then build the custom stuff. So I have built a custom GPT, which is based on processes and business strategy to help me with that. I've got one which is focused on business development and sales, one which is focused on LinkedIn as well. So having strategists there, building all of that. And then we use a lot of automation tools. I really love Zapier. We use that to link a lot of stuff so that we can have instant quote stuff on our website and we can have proposals going out to someone here and capturing.
Oh my God, can I hire you for a bit?
I love stuff like this. I find it so fun. Me and IT like consultancy, I had to get them to give me like for admin access because there was always a thing that with a new system, it'd block it. You'd have to get admin approval. And me and Josh are there at like 8, 9 p.m. being like, I just want to try out this new one that I saw. And I want to try and make things better. I always want to make things better and smoother for both the team and clients because I want the team's life to be easier. If they can deliver things quicker and easier so they're not like stressed out and working all hours, fantastic. If the client can also have a fantastic experience from that, great. And then if that's also in our custom marketing, like that's what I want. So I'll do a lot of stuff like that. I love a tool.
That's brilliant. You probably don't realize actually what you guys are doing because I think that is so far ahead. I think my kind of hypothesis is you've got some of the very large players who are just machines. They're doing an exceptionally good job. A lot of the large ones are not, but there are some who are really good operators, really mature business in terms of how they do things and are really good. You've then got probably some really good, let's say, kind of larger SMEs. So let's say, I don't know, ones between 80 to 150, who again are some of the ones really carving the way with digital and things that they're doing. But then you've got a whole probably 80% of the market who are still doing everything the hard way, really traditional. They don't have systems and processes in place. They don't really concentrate on marketing. They don't have a business development strategy. And I think a lot of them are in deep shit. In my professional view, in the next 5 years, they're going to get unstuck because the pace at which things are moving, the efficiencies that intelligent organizations are getting to is going to start to overtake what they're doing. And then you've got micro businesses like yours where either the founder is doing it in terms of the founder who's also the technical expert, or just generally, you've got somebody like you who is looking at this and doing this and thinking right now about, we want to grow, but let's get all our systems and processes in place. Let's make sure we're a really slick machine.
Yeah.
And then we'll add more wood to the fire by hiring more people to do that. So, I just want to say to you, honestly, you don't probably realise how far ahead I reckon you are compared to a lot of other businesses. And I really, with zero disrespect to Josh, I'm really chuffed that he's used actually going today. It's really interesting.
Sorry,
it's a different perspective. Sorry, Josh, but it's a different perspective, is this, and it's brilliant. And actually, I honestly think I want people to listen to this and go, "No, we need an Abby on board." No, we need someone who's and Annie. Sorry. I got happy from then. Annie on board to do this kind of stuff. It's like, because it's brilliant. It's like, it's really good.
Thanks.
Honestly, I'm genuinely impressed, and it's
thanks very much.
And I think a lot of businesses are going to go this way, or a lot of micro businesses are going to go this way because they can afford to, kind of play in the sandpit, so to speak, because they can't do too much wrong at the moment. It's not like they've got 100 fee earners to feed and worry about, and whatever the money is they've got to create each month to feed that many people. You've got the opportunity to do that right now.
Yeah.
Get it all dialed in.
Yeah.
Hopefully be at the kind of bleeding edge of some of the stuff you can use tech and AI to do, and then go from there. So it's like,
absolutely. And I think this is the thing, when you're a smaller business and you're kind of like leaner, you can do things. If I'm going like, I want to try a system, I can do.
Yeah.
There's no like bureaucracy to stop you doing that. There's no kind of fee target on my head. Like, I can do that sort of thing, which I think you've got the big companies where they can put a lot of money into that.
100%.
But getting people to really understand it and be involved in it is then more difficult.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you've kind of got
and the more risk averse by that point as well.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. So I think being a bit riskier and like trying things out, because like might as well.
100%.
But you've got to put a lot of time to learning it, and I think that is what's difficult for people when they're doing so much else, and it's you've got to put a lot of time in here to then build this system that eventually will make things easier, but it's not instant gratification. You're gonna have to stretch yourself to get to that point. It's not going to be a just do this quickly. And I think sometimes maybe that's what people want with AI or even with marketing. It's like this instant return on that. And that's not what it's going to be. You're going to have to kind of really train it and make it work for you. And that takes time. And obviously 100%. There's the luxury that I'm not having to go away and deliver client work. So I can do that. Or I can go and like meet some new people, and someone else is talking at an event about AI. And I'm like, this is interesting. I'm going to go back and research about this and see how that can benefit us. So,
and again, to kind of further make your head swell, it's like if the business might not have been as far ahead as it was if you weren't part of the business, because the 3 building surveyors would have concentrated on building surveying.
Yeah.
And delivering building surveying.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have thought probably as much as you're thinking about all the other bits.
Yeah, I think they'd love to, but I think the reality is that you can't.
But also you'd also in your head you'd almost be, right, I could spend time doing this, but this client has also asked for this extra, so it would constantly be like in your head. It's like, well, what am I? I should really concentrate on billing, shouldn't I? Because I've got to make money, haven't I? So
and you've got,
whereas you're kind of free from those shackles, because that's not
absolutely. And I think for some people, when you've got those like priorities, like I said, with my priorities, it's winning work, marketing, and then also improving things.
Yeah.
When you're actually like a fee earner, your main target is billing.
Yeah.
So if something doesn't fit into that, it's difficult to make it meaningful.
Yeah.
Because the most important thing is doing that work that is going to bring in the fees and going to maintain those clients as well. Because you don't want to just in and out. You want someone who's going to stay and they know you do good work, and that is your number one priority.
Yeah.
Whereas my priorities are then different each day to that. And that means we can be more flexible and a bit more kind of innovative. And that's what we've always wanted. So I think it's probably like, I think sometimes it took me a bit of time to kind of settle into that.
Yeah.
And to actually think, what is my role and purpose here? You've got that kind of like, I guess people say like imposter syndrome. Because I'm like, I'm not a surveyor, and that is that going to hold it back, and this is difficult. Whereas I think Josh has always seen that benefit. Yeah. That he knows me so well that he knew that before I think probably I really knew that. And he saw that as this is how we can be more dynamic and achieve things differently and everything like that. So it's great. Yeah. So that's good. But it took me a bit of time to realize it myself. And then actually start settling into where's my skill set, where's my interests, and where can I actually benefit things.
I'm sure, like you say, a lot of the early days, you probably turned up to a lot of events and people were like, almost kind of creating doubt in your mind by their reaction to the fact that you weren't a surveyor, what you're doing here. Sort of thing. So you probably went through a period yourself of like doubting.
I was told to ask my boss. I've been introed as like owning the company. I was told to ask my boss and I was like, okay, this is going to be fun.
Yeah. Good. No, well, not fair play to you. That's absolutely amazing.
Thanks.
So you're building out a business. So what's the plan now going forward? And you said obviously you've got the 4 directors, the 4 of you. What's the plan in terms of growth going forward?
So we want to make sure we're on that same path with the right clients, the right work, and the right way of working.
Right.
And then we want to take on some more senior chartered surveyors who are looking at what the different options are, and they want to be involved in growth because we want to bring people in to be part of that with us.
Yeah.
So we're looking at then taking on some more people in the kind of areas we already are and cover to work with us, but to really be part of it. So bring them in at a senior level. They're involved in that business. Maybe they'd be considering a smaller business or going out by themselves, but they don't want to do all of that. Bringing them in. So we're kind of going from that tack. We've never had a goal to be like massive.
Yeah.
I've never had that. When we wanted to start a business, really, our long-term thinking was more about time and more thinking, I don't want to be reliant on a retirement that seems to keep pushing back.
Yeah.
I want to be able to have the flexibility and the time and as we're older do that. So our view hasn't been a grow something massive and get really rich. It's grow something meaningful to us that we can be involved in, we can shape, and we can also bring other people into it to be part of that and build something that's theirs as well. So we want to go down the route there where we're going to be looking to take on some experienced chartered surveyors as well who want to kind of get involved in that and grow that with us and make things better. I think the way we work, the way we've always wanted to work is almost an extension of someone's team as surveyors. It's not just a consultant and it's not just here's a report, off we pop. It's understanding their strategy, understanding where they're going with their assets. If you've got an asset manager, what is their actual strategy long term? What sectors are they in? What are they wanting to do with these buildings? And how we can get involved in that so that we're an extension of a kind of property team for them. And that's the way we want to work. And that isn't almost, I guess, like scalable in a huge sense because you've got to keep that personal way of working and that we're very director-led. You're going to have a senior person on this instruction working with you on the other end of the phone. And we want to maintain that.
Cool.
And we want to really build something that's like a nice place to be and to be involved in. And I think that's our like focus, really.
Awesome. Good. No, that's brilliant. So I guess it's not all gone smoothly since starting.
Oh God, no.
Are there any kind of, you would say, any kind of lessons or mistakes you've collectively learned since starting the business?
Buckle up. I think the youth, like I said, that youthful naivety is so beneficial, but you're also going to make so many mistakes and not really understand a lot of things and the impact they're going to have. We go in and it's all exciting, like, oh, well, we're winning this and we're doing this and we've got this money in the bank. And it's like you need to make sure you keep that money in the bank.
100%.
You need to be...
Lesson number 1.
keeping 100%, keeping on that, like, vision. And I think at one point, we got excited by everything happening and we needed to come back and really focus on that, like, North Star in front of you.
Yeah.
I think... you're just learning so much. And I'm like, you don't know what you don't know, and you've
yeah,
got to
yeah.
learn.
Yeah, love
and
that saying. Yeah.
if something doesn't go well, learn from it, move on.
Yeah.
I think what we also found difficult is that personal aspect and separating you as an individual
Right.
from business.
Yeah.
And this was like a really weird place to like sit, because we were so like synonymous with it as a business that if then there's something where it's more difficult and I don't know, you got someone who's unhappy, it's really difficult to be like, I am not fully just Fourth Wall. Like, I'm also an individual separate to that. And I think that's really hard. And separating yourself from that is difficult. And I think definitely take things too personally at times and have to learn to have a bit of a thicker skin and brush it off and move on and not be hung up on kind of people thinking I'm a girl and shouldn't be in this industry. So,
look, I genuinely hope that, like, even if you'd have started this process 10 years ago, it would have been even harder than it was.
Yeah.
You know, when you started. So I'd like to hope and believe that it's getting better.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is. And I think you do just get used to those scenarios and situations. I think there's so much when it's mistakes. I'd love to say I don't regret things, but I definitely am someone who does like regret things. But I do always try and think that I need to learn from it.
Yeah, yeah.
And that is everything with business. I didn't know about building a business and contracts and things like this. I didn't know how to build all these systems initially. I spent a lot of time doing it. We've spent money on things where you go, that's not valuable to us to do.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know, like sponsoring an event as a small business, I don't do that now.
Yeah.
But you get excited and you go, that's not got the right value for us. That's not where we're going to really get the most from
like
it.
you say, you don't know what you don't know. So you go in there thinking it's going to be, just wait for all this business going to roll in. It's like, tumbleweeds.
But I do that now.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, you had to learn it some way. And I think so often you can like, someone can tell you something is going to be hard. Someone can sit there and be like, starting a business is really hard, and go, it'll be grand. Or you're going to need to really work out your own boundaries. And you go, I'll be fine. And then you're waking up at 3 a.m. suddenly thinking of all that stuff on your to-do list. You've got to kind of learn it yourself.
Yeah.
I don't think you really like almost take it on board until you go through your own stuff with it. So I think there's a lot of mistakes, but I'd say that you learn from and have to move forward with, and not just learn from, but like improve. So improve yourself as an individual, improve the business. So if something went wrong, if someone was happy with something, if you've wasted money somewhere, how can you avoid that in the future?
Yeah.
And how can you then be better next time?
Yeah.
I think that's always the important thing, to almost not linger on it too much, but take something from it. Like, absolutely try and do something better.
Yeah.
Because everyone's going to make mistakes all the time.
Yeah.
It's normal.
100%.
And I think if you learn from it and you can do something better next time, great.
Yeah. Awesome. No, you're absolutely. Honestly, I think some of what you're saying, I think people a lot older than you don't get. So I'm genuinely impressed.
Thanks.
How do you and Josh separate? Because it must be really easy to just like finish for the day, sit having a meal, or sit on the sofa, and still just both rabbit on about work all day.
Yeah.
Have you got any rules? Have you got any systems? How do you deal with that?
This was insane at the beginning, and honestly, I think it's the hardest thing of working with a partner, or even if it was like your best mate or something like that, is setting those boundaries.
Yeah.
Because I would like wake up, Josh is already awake, and he's like, I've had this idea. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, let me have a coffee. Or going to bed and you're like, I just wanted to tell you about this before I go to sleep, so it's not on my mind, but you're putting it in their mind then.
Yeah.
That's been the hardest thing to learn.
Yeah.
I started trying to set a cut off. I'm like, don't talk to me about work past like 8.
Yeah.
I don't want to be doing it.
Yeah. Watching Corrie, shut up now.
I'm like, I do not want to be thinking about that.
Yeah.
And it's so easy to fall into that.
Oh, 100% is,
At the beginning, we were, as well as starting this, we also were like renovating our house back to brick and doing so much for ourselves.
Yeah.
That I'd be kind of like covered in dust and shifting rubble and things, and then going into a meeting.
Yeah.
And it was just all go, go, go. So we didn't set any of those boundaries.
Right.
And I think that's been a big learning thing for us is you do have to have switch off times and just be a couple and have a life separately.
100%.
For some people, obviously, they can have that kind of, what is that at the moment, where it's like work-life blend, that's like the buzzword, rather than like balance. For me, I need the separation. I need to have that time where I'm not thinking about work and the business, and I'm just reading a book or things like that. I probably did take this to a slight extreme though, because there was a point when I bought a dog when Josh was on holiday, because I thought that'd be nice to have something different, go for a walk every day with the dog. I bought the dog. And now it means I go out twice a day with the dog, listen to a podcast, and you separate from it, and it forces me to do that. So I took that to an extreme.
Well, no,
but having the separation is important for me. And I think that was, we didn't have that for a few years, and we'd go on holiday and still be working. Like we didn't have like a proper holiday. I was in Vietnam on the phone to someone, like, and we didn't do any of that balance, and that is difficult. And we had to like learn that we do need to switch off and step away from stuff. And
totally.
Talk about things that aren't just fourth wall. We need to talk about other things too. So we've put a big effort into that in the last like year or two, I think.
Brilliant.
To set those boundaries. But that is absolutely the hardest thing with working with a partner, I think. Because usually you might have work stress and then you go home and you might tell your partner about it, but they don't really care. And then it's off and you're having tea together and you're watching something or just like discussing life and friends and family and things. Whereas when it's so involved, it's difficult to balance that.
Yeah, absolutely. And, have there been any, I'm sure there must have been on some occasion where you one or the other has pissed the other one off, something you've done has upset Josh or the other way around.
Of course.
That must be really difficult then, because then he's like, you can't, like you say, you can't go and go, you won't believe what Josh did today. Oh, fuck your Josh.
I probably would as well. Voice note him. I think we just send like memes to each other and it irons that out. But no, absolutely. But I think the value of working with someone that you are so close to is that is someone who knows you deeply and holds you to account. So there's not a fear of being honest with an opinion. If I'm disagreeing with Josh, I'm going to tell him I disagree. But you don't just scream and shout about it. We have different perspectives, and we're going to say that. But being with someone who is, you're working and living with them and everything, that is actually a huge benefit, I think, in those situations, because we know each other better than anyone else. So I know if maybe I'm like, you're not loving that, you're not really into this or something, or maybe we should go on this path, and he might disagree with me on something, and I take his ideas with marketing and you blend that. But
Nice.
I think that's actually a huge like value rather than like clashing, because we've been together a long time. We've been together since we were teenagers, and you've grown up together there. That if anyone can disagree with me and things, it's going to be him. I think that's actually quite beneficial.
Cool.
But of course we have those times. But we're not together every day, to be fair. We'll be in different places and he'll be on site and things. So it's not like we're just
get to site today
all the time. I'm like, you need to go. It's been too long now. We need some time apart.
Love it. Absolutely brilliant. Awesome. I've really loved this chat, and unexpected, I say, because of how it's come about, which has been absolutely brilliant. And honestly, I genuinely hope people listen to this and go, we need that. We need something like you in the business who's not purely focused on billing, because and the problem is a lot of business owners don't see the value to some extent, because it's like, well, I'd rather just bring another fee earner in. It's like, that's fine, but you're not actually improving the business. You're making more money, but you're not improving the business.
I think it's a bigger picture, isn't it? It's the longer term gain of that.
100%.
The longer term impact.
And
we started young, so we are thinking longer term. I don't need everything to be immediate.
Brilliant.
But you're looking at the longer picture, and I think having people of different experiences and backgrounds can only add value to a business. I think that's so important.
Oh, amazing. So I asked 2 questions at the end. First question is, and it's really interesting because you're still so young yourself in terms of your career, but who would you say has been your best mentor or boss who's maybe helped shape some of who you are today?
Oh, okay. So I'm going to actually, throw this back to my experiences when I was in like retail and bar work. I actually think this really shaped me.
Yeah.
Was my boss, I worked at Ann Summers when I was at uni.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a different retail experience for people.
I imagine, yeah.
But that was an experience with a boss who was so like open, and she was great. And she hired me because I walked into that shop and was like, here's my CV, I'm looking for a job, and wasn't embarrassed. So that taught me to talk to anyone about anything.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think those times in like retail hospitality really helped me. And the people who were like my managers there who would give you a lot of responsibility, they were incredibly busy. They have to trust you with a lot. I think that really shaped me a lot actually in those environments. So
I spent a lot of time working behind bars when I was like when I was a student, and I think it taught you how to deal with a lot of different people, often drunk people. So I imagine if you did some of that, it was perfect. I can only imagine some of the stories you must have had working at Ann Summers, or some of the discussions you got with some of your customers. It's like, wow, we won't go there. This is the U-rated podcast.
Saying it right now, but I think my managers in those places actually like gave you so much responsibility, and to be honest, they did at the airport as well. I had fantastic,
amazing
managers and directors there. They were great.
Cool. And the last one, is there any? If somebody was starting out in business now, is there any kind of book you would suggest them reading, or any podcast series you would suggest them listening to, or anything like that? Anything that you found useful in terms of your learning?
I listen to and read so much.
Yeah.
I'm very much on a perspective of having a, rather than one specific book, a wide array of information.
Yeah.
So whilst this business is a service business, I will listen to people about product marketing and sales.
Yeah.
I've been reading at the moment Ryan Serhan, the estate agent in America.
Yeah. I've watched the series. I didn't realize he had a book. I watched the series.
Yeah.
Which is like, again, I thought there's so many. I found that series really fascinating to watch.
I find it fascinating. I find it really interesting, even though it's American and it's a different type of thing and a different type of client. I think you can always take from it.
100%.
I also read one which is an accountancy book, actually. Right. So it's aimed at accountants, but it was called like Selling to Serve.
Right.
And it was really about the idea that you are serving your clients, you're not just selling to them.
Yeah.
And whilst it wasn't about surveying, I can take a lot from that.
It's a professional service.
It's a professional service, and I can take a lot from that. And that helped in terms of that sales process and how you're positioning yourself and how you're speaking to people. I found that a really good one. But I always think the main thing is don't focus on the books and information that are just on your specific topic.
Right, yeah.
Take from as many places as you can.
100%.
And as many experiences as you can, whether you think you're going to agree with that person or not.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot to be learned. So I like selling stuff from that perspective, but I listen to a lot of different podcasts like Aspire with Emma Greed, where it's women in business and going through that. I just love hearing different perspectives. That's cool. I think I take something from everything. I'll have little notes in my phone and I'll be like, that was an interesting idea, or see something on social media that isn't necessarily the most relevant, but I go, I like that angle. And see what I can do with that. So I think, read and listen and learn from people who don't do what you do.
Yeah, I think that's brilliant advice. No, I think that, again, honestly, you are wise beyond your years, honestly. I genuinely hope people listen to this and get something out of it. I think the bloody well better do. No, I think, honestly, I've been super impressed. Thank you for dropping everything and coming last minute.
Thanks
I really
so much
appreciate
for having
it. No, thank you for being on. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.